Great to speak to you both. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat with the Queer Review. And yeah, I really enjoyed last night's episode. Clayton, I'm looking forward to seeing your episode, Jensen, this coming week, I believe. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Um, and yeah, something I want to start with was something that you touched on, Clayton, when you were kind of t telling some of your story in last night's episode.
mm,
There's such a focus in the media and in politics on trans youth. And I wonder for each of you what your experience was growing up trans. Clayton, for you, it was in Iowa, and I know Jensen, for you, it was in upstate New York. So perhaps starting
mhm.
with Clayton.
Yeah. So mostly with right now, how like should trans youth transition socially, medically, all that. And I've always think about that. I'm like, huh, should they? What about this? What about that? And then I realized, wait, I was a trans youth, and then being able to step in my eyes and realizing, no, like I didn't think about my age or anything like that. I didn't even think about gender. I just thought about what I feel on the inside, like in society, we have these gender norms and all that kind of stuff. With me, it's not that I was trying to be a guy. It was more I was just trying to fit what I believed I looked like and what I feel comfortable in my skin. So I totally obviously stand for trans youth transitioning and feeling comfortable in their body because at the end of the day, it's their lives and we want to be able to actually live this one life we have the way we perceive to.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, Jensen, did you want?
Yeah. Uh, I think for sure when I was a kid, I didn't have words for who I was. I definitely remember, going into those norms as a kid of, I played with all the guys. I would pretend to be, a husband. I'd pretend to be a prince. Like I always gravitated towards that stuff. Um, and that was all natural to me. Um, but when you're talking about, what was it like as a kid, I remember hitting an age I was in like third grade or so, and my parents were like, "Hey, you can't do this anymore. Like you're a girl, you got to dress like a girl. Like no more shopping in the boys section." Um, so I definitely had a hard time with that. I didn't understand. I just was like, "This is me. Why can't I do this?" And I definitely threw a fit. Um, but yeah, then for a while I was, going with that. I accepted it. I was like, this is a part of life. This is what I'm supposed to do. I also grew up in a pretty rural area in upstate New York. So it wasn't super progressive out there. And my parents, I know they were trying to protect me in a way, but I didn't feel good, like when you're not able to express who you are and it doesn't feel like natural to you and you don't feel like you could be yourself. It was hard to not feel confident and feel like, I was wrong for that. And I know that I for a while I just reached into trying to like dress up nicer to be more confident and stuff like that. Like just thinking like, hey, if I do that, like maybe I'll actually feel good about how I look. Um, and I didn't. So to touch on, yeah, what Clayton was saying is if like for trans youth, like it's really about supporting them. Like I think people have this idea that folks are pushing surgeries and hormones on kids. Like it's like supporting them in a haircut and the way they dress and saying like you can be you, you can be authentic, and we want you to be happy. So
Yeah. And Clayton, you found a lot of community through your YouTube channel,
Yep.
didn't you? And kind of folks were following your journey like as you transitioned, and you still keep up with that now, right?
Yeah. So I'm in Iowa, very conservative. I was like one of the only LGBT in my school. So when I came out, everyone was looking at me weird. I was the weird kid. And I just had no one, and my own parents did not have my back either. They were actually my biggest bullies. So right when I turned 18, I actually quit, dropped out of high school, left with only like the shirt on my back. And at that moment, I'm like, I have no one. So I decided to pick up a camera and I was like, you know what? Let's just post. Like I didn't have enough money for therapy. So instead, I was like, okay, well, if I just grab a camera and just literally just trauma dump on the internet and see if anyone else can kind of like be there and see if there's anyone else that actually feels like I do, because I literally felt like I don't belong anywhere. And then I realized, oh wow, like there's a whole other people out there who literally feel the exact same, who are going through the same struggles as me, and I build a community from that, and I'm so blessed for it every single day.
Yeah.
And Jensen, as this is your fourth time, I'll ask you to do this. Just if you had to like very succinctly describe what American Ninja Warrior is for folks that are new to it, how might you kind of describe it just to describe it to give people a little flavor of it and tell them, they've got to be watching this show.
Yeah, I hope if they haven't been watching, they watch it now. But yeah, it's a obstacle course competition. So there's a series of obstacles. Usually it starts with like 6 obstacles. You compete in a qualifier course from, there's people from all different regions of the US. And then the competition progresses. And there's been different formats through the years, but there's always semifinals and then finals. So it's a obstacle course that requires a lot of upper body power, explosive power, balance, and agility. And you're swinging through the air, you're flying through the air, like just hucking things 7 feet away and trying to catch something that's like far away from you. That was not the most gracious way to
Oh, I like it. Well,
explain it, but
it's really so fun to watch at home. It's hard to watch it silently. I think you have to yell out when you're watching it because it's so fun, and you get really involved in the little details of everything you're doing. And Clayton, so this is your first time competing. Tell me a little bit about how you got into Ninja, and then what it means to you to be competing on season 17 of American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, so I got out of a breakup and I just kept kind of dating after that. Definitely people I probably should have been around. And I realized I was doing something. I was like just looking for exterior gratification instead of like actually figuring out like what's my passion, what do I need. And I did tumbling as a kid and I really wanted to get into gymnastics. So I looked up this gymnastics gym, Emerge Academy, and they do gymnastics, but they only do it for like 18 under. But they told me like I do have a ninja side for adults, and I was like, all right, like I know what a ninja warrior is. I'm very sportsy. I love that kind of stuff. So I just joined, and like now it's like my favorite thing ever. It's literally my like second family, and it's turned into like a great passion. And at first, I just went to like actually just get a community of people. There's some queer people there. There's everyone there supports the LGBTQ plus community. But then Spencer Johnson, who's also on the show, he's my coach and the owner, and he was like, no, like I believe that you could make it on the show. Let's do it. Let's work together every day to actually get you on the show. And that happened, and I can't believe that I actually made it. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah. And how pleased were you with your performance last night that folks will have seen in that episode?
Yeah, I was shocked how amazing I looked up there. Like I remember how nervous I was to be on stage and everything, but I showed up for my community and I'm so blessed with my run mostly as a rookie. So yeah, I'm really happy with it.
And what kind of reactions have you been getting from folks so far?
Oh yeah, my phone's been blowing up right now and it's awesome. I think my favorite texts are actually from like parents and like moms who have LGBT kids, and they're like just telling me how how proud they are of me to be up there and represent for their kid to feel proud in who they are, and it's just awesome to get texts like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and what are your thoughts now going into the semifinals?
I'm super excited, and I'm just blessed to keep going with my journey and showing up for the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah, and Jensen, this is your fourth time on the show. So so tell us a little bit, similar to Clayton, like how you first sort of got into Ninja Warrior, and then maybe why you wanted to come back for season 17. Yeah.
yeah. So I actually had no idea what Ninja Warrior was. And back in 2015, which is wild to say because that's 10 years ago, my cousin who also competes on the show, he dragged me to this obstacle course competition. He said, it's like American Ninja Warrior. Have you seen it? And I was like, no, but I'll go. And he said he was going to compete. And I was like, all right, I'll watch you. And so I went to the competition and it looked really cool. And he said I should sign up. I've been a rock climber for a long time. And I was like, all right, like I can try this out. I'm athletic. I like this stuff. It looks cool. And I did really well in the competition then. So I was like, let me try this out. But for a while, it was like there was no gym closer than 2 hours away from me. So for quite a few years, I didn't really train. Like I'd go visit my cousin. He lives a couple hours away, so we'd train maybe 3 times a year together, just go have fun at it. Um, and then in 2018, we actually got a gym closer to my house, and I was able to train. And I applied. I was like, I really want to share my story, and I really want to try like at the show, see what I can do. And I applied then, and I kept applying because it's such a fun sport, and I love what I do. It's so cool to see what your body is capable of. And then I also felt like I really wanted to represent my community. There's a lot of media out there surrounding trans folks, and I wanted it to be from a trans person. Like our messaging should be coming from us, and the media needs more positive stories, accurate stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, just following up on that, what kind of impact do you hope for each of you being part of season 17 might have on, folks watching it, whether they're part of our community, trans folks, or, just not part of the community, but meeting you guys through the show?
I feel like it's really powerful. Like no matter how you identify, like in life, like that we share our stories. I think that's the best way that people can learn. So for folks who have never met a trans person, there's a lot of people who have never met a trans person or don't know us personally, and I hope that through seeing Clayton's story, and hopefully we'll see what happens on episode 6. Hopefully people learned a bit, and I'm sure that they learned a bit because Clayton, your story was amazing. Um, you did amazing, and for the folks who are in the community, I think it's amazing. I'm so impressed and happy that Ninja Warrior featured, Clayton, you this year, me last year, because I think that you're right. It helps people see like I can be trans and I can be successful in life. I can do the things that I love. I can find jobs that I love. I can be successful. Um, and hopefully, people know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What I think is just to show people who feel like they're less than, whether there are LGBT or any other minority groups that feel like they don't get the spotlight as much. And the one thing I love about this show is the story, because I am a great athlete, but it's like I also have this big part of me that no one, like people know, but not everyone gets to know. And it's like they do know I'm trans, but they don't get to see what's behind the door. Like they don't get to see that, like, yeah, I'm trans, and yeah, I got on the show, I did this, but it's like we also get backlash, we also get rights taken away. I live in Iowa. There's a lot of rights getting taken away right now, and it's very sad. And it's like, but we need people like us to keep coming up and keep supporting and being like, we got this. Like we're not gonna stop. Like we're gonna fight harder. The more you steal our rights, the more we're gonna go out there and fight for our rights back, because like that's the whole point of life, is to be there for yourself, be there for others, and show that we all need a space to live and survive as our authentic self.
Coming back to American Ninja Warrior, what did you want to sort of show this time? Because it's you're returning, and what was it like to be back?
I mean, it's awesome every time to be back. I definitely wanted to show up and do better than I have in the past. I don't think that I've shown in past years, what I'm capable of. So I keep going back. I'm so impressed at you, Clayton, for crushing it your rookie season, because
Thank
I'm
you.
guilty of, getting that stage fright and definitely blinking out a few times. But every year I go, it's more comfortable, and I feel less nervous about it, and it is like so cool to be there. It's so cool to be with the community. It's so cool to be on set and test your limits like that.
And what's your training regime like for each of you just in the run up to shooting the season? Do you sort of pick things up a bit? Clayton, how about for you?
Yeah. So like I said at the beginning, so when the show came out, like when I got on the show, I was only like a year in the sport. I live 45 minutes away from the gym one way. So it is a pretty big drive, but like I'm committed to it. I love the people. I finally have a community I feel welcomed in. And I think I just kind of went socially, have fun, do just some like fun stuff. But then after my coach, when he was like, "No, we're all putting an application in. Like, I believe all you guys, we're gonna do it together." That's when like we were there till like we start practice at 8 p.m. Adult ninja till 9 p.m. But me, Spencer, and then some of the others who wanted to be on the show with us, we stayed till like 1 a.m. in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning, just training and training and training. Like it was my life, like for like that whole time, because like I really wanted to do as good as I can do, show up for my community, and really get my story out there. So yeah, but on the daily, we have practice Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday and Wednesday are more calisthenic, like pull ups, push ups, like all that kind of stuff. We do some dumbbell lifts, so it's a lot more like just working out. And then Fridays are the fun days. Like we actually do, like we call it run it back. So we make one big ninja course, and when one person falls, we all go back, because Spencer's quote is, "We're one team." So when one of us fall, we go back and we do it all again. So yeah.
How about for you, Jensen?
Yeah, I train. So I train at my local gym, usually, once a week or so. We have adult nights there. And I coach there as well. We have a competition team who it's kids ages 6 to 18 who compete in all the leagues. But when I get called for the show, it usually ramps up to 2 or 3 times a week, just to step it up. My day job is very physical regularly. I'm a physical therapist with folks who have disabilities such as like Down syndrome and cerebral palsy. Um, so I get a little tired between that and then doing ninja and then rock climbing. But when it's time to go for the show, it's more focused on that training.
And I saw from your Instagram, Jensen, that you're also vegan because I've been vegan since 2020. I haven't had dairy products for about 20 years or something. But and I think there's a misconception sometimes that people who have a vegan diet, can't be active and fit.
Mm.
And I don't know how do you find it being vegan? And also, yeah, like as you described, like having a very full schedule and obviously doing Ninja Warrior too.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been vegan. October will be 10 years for me. So yeah, also 2015. I'm still living and breathing and I have all my energy. So I don't think that it's hindered me in any way. I think you're right. People definitely have a misconception that you can't be active and build muscle when you're a vegan, but you can get all your protein from plants that you need and all your vitamins, as long as you're good with your nutrition and you're eating like a well balanced diet. Like it hasn't hindered me one bit. I feel strong, I feel energetic, and it's been awesome. I feel healthy.
And what would you say to anyone sort of watching at home? Kind of thinking, I'd like to try this. I mean, kind of does look kind of hard when you're watching it at home, as exciting as it looks. Yeah. So, what would you say to anyone who is thinking of giving it a try? Clayton, how about you first?
Yeah, I think go for it. Like anything's possible. You train and it's easier. Like it is a difficult sport, but the more you train and the more confident you are, the better outcome it would be. And just like Jensen said about stage fright, like I definitely had stage fright too, but I talk in front of the camera every single day. I love to be around people and I love to be like the center of attention a lot of times. And it definitely helped because of my YouTube channel. Before that, I was always nervous, but I go TikTok live all the time with thousands of people watching and stuff. So it's a lot easier. So the more you stay up with it and the more you work out, you train, you find a group of people that will go down with you and support you and love you, then it'll work out. So I definitely think try out the sport. If you don't want to be on the show, at least just go to the gym. It's a good workout and you'll meet a lot of great people.
Yeah, Jensen, how about for you?
Yeah, I agree. Go for it. Like, you got nothing to lose. Like, it's so much fun. It's an amazing experience, and there there's so many gyms around the entire like US that like if you put in like Google like Ninja Warrior obstacle gyms, like you could find one. And if you want to shoot your shot at the salmon ladder and the warped wall, like it's so accessible now in most places that like, maybe in some rural places you might have a longer drive, but most of the time you can find a gym pretty close if you're in like a city, maybe a 2 hour drive still in some of the rural areas, but it's worth it. It's so much fun.
And one last question for you, which I like to ask everybody. It's kind of a broad question. And we were talking a little bit about the importance of representation earlier and seeing yourself on screen. So it's kind of might be linked to that, your answer, but it's for your favorite piece of LGBTQ plus culture. So it could be a book or a TV series or a film, music, art, any piece of culture, or you might want to pick a person who identifies as LGBTQ plus. So someone or something that has had a real impact on you and resonated with you. And whoever has one and would like to go first can
Uh,
jump in.
yeah, I do love the show Heartstoppers.
Mm.
One thing I really love about it is it's a positive show, for youth, younger teens, and I really love that because most of the time, like I also love the ones that do show more of the trauma and the hard parts of being LGBT. But I really love that show how it shows when you do find yourself and you do find a group that loves you and unconditionally, and it's just so adorable to watch that show and realize, wow, like look, there's real love, there's unity right there, and everyone's just happy, and that's exactly what the LGBTQ plus community wants. We just want that love and acceptance of who we are, and a lot of times we don't get that. So I really enjoy that show a lot.
Yeah, me too. That's a great pick. Yeah, and I love how it's gone on as well. It's become more about that chosen family too, rather
Yeah.
than the love story, but the love story is great as well. And yeah, Jensen, how about for you?
Yeah. I think one of my favorites is actually the Disclosure movie. It talks a lot on, the history of representation for trans folks. So it highlights, how we got to this point in society, a lot of the misconceptions and how we've been portrayed in the past and then where it's going now. I think it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah. Well, that kind of gives me chills too that you picked that because I see you as being an important part of trans representation right now on screen, and so many people I'm sure are gonna see that, and especially young trans folks are gonna see themselves in you, and that's a beautiful thing I think, and a lot of people are going to be wanting to try out Ninja Warrior too, I think.
Yes. I hope so. I hope so.
I've got to find out if there's somewhere in Manhattan. I'm in the East Village, so
There's definitely gyms. I know I've gone training in Brooklyn for sure, but there's got to
uh
be gyms in Manhattan.
okay. Maybe I'm gonna get brave and give it a go. Well, Clayton Jensen, thanks so much. It was a real pleasure to meet both of you, and I wish you all the best of luck in the rest of the season of American Ninja Warrior season 17.
Thank you. I appreciate it, James.
Thank you, James.